When was the last time you made a new close friend? Not someone you follow, not someone who likes your posts, not someone you occasionally text, a real friend. The kind of person you could, call if your car broke down at midnight. The kind of person who would actually answer. For a lot of adults, the question is becoming surprisingly difficult to answer. And I don't think it's because people suddenly forgot how to be a friend. I don't think we're worse people than previous generations. I don't think everyone became antisocial overnight. I just think something else happened. Something so gradual that most of us didn't even notice. Because if you talk to enough people, you start hearing the same thing over and over again. People say they have hundreds of contacts, thousands of followers, endless notifications, group chats that never stop. And yet, somehow, they feel more disconnected than ever. Not because they're surrounded by strangers, but because they're missing something deeper. The kind of friendship that once seemed almost effortless. And that's what fascinates me, because friendship used to happen naturally. You didn't schedule it, you lived inside of it. You saw the same people every day, a lot of times, the same neighborhood, the same church, the same little league field, the same diner, the same workplace, the same front porch, the same local bar, the same bowling league, the same community. I think you get my point. And when you see the same people over and over and over again, something interesting happens. Friendships form almost by accident. You don't have to search for it. You don't have to optimize it. You don't have to swipe for it. You simply spend enough time around people that eventually they become part of your life. But modern life doesn't work that way anymore. Today we move more, we remotely work more, we travel more, we rent longer, change jobs more often, and spend less time in places where relationships naturally develop. We've become incredibly mobile, and mobility creates opportunity, of course, but it can also quietly destroy roots. Many adults don't lose friendships because of some dramatic falling out. Nobody gets angry, nobody gets all, huge arguments, things like that. Nobody storms out. Life simply pulls everyone in, different directions. One friend gets married, maybe another moves away. Someone has children. Someone changes careers. Someone starts working nights. Someone gets busy. Then suddenly a month passes, then 6 months, then a year, and one day you realize you're still technically friends, but you haven't really talked in forever. What's strange is that technology was supposed to kind of solve that problem. Remember the promise? Social media was supposed to keep us connected. Smartphones were supposed to make communication easier. The internet was supposed to eliminate distance, and in some ways it absolutely did. I can instantly send a message to someone on the other side of the planet. I can see what old classmates are doing. I can keep up with people I haven't seen in years. But I think something unexpected happened. Technology became so good at simulating connection that sometimes it replaced connection itself. We started confusing awareness with friendship. I know what you ate for lunch. I saw your vacation photos. I liked your birthday post. I watched your story. But do I actually know what's happening in your life? Would I know if you were struggling? Would you know if I was? Those are very different questions. A follower is not a friend. A notification is not a conversation. A reaction is not relationships. And somewhere along the way, many of us started accepting substitutes. What's interesting is that many people don't realize how much their social lives have shrunk because it didn't happen all at once. Think about your own life for a second. How many people do you actually spend time with, in person on a regular basis? Not online, not through a screen, not through a group chat. In real life, for many adults, the number is surprisingly small. And that's not because they don't know people. It's because modern life keeps pushing us into smaller and smaller social circles. A lot of us from home, our car, we go to work, back to our car, back to home, then repeat it tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day. Entire weeks can pass without a meaningful conversation with someone new. What's even stranger is that many of the places that once acted as social hubs have quietly disappeared. Not completely, but enough to matter. People sometimes call these third places. Not home, not work, just places where people gathered. Coffee shops, community centers, local clubs, bowling leagues, church groups, neighborhood hangouts, book clubs, volunteer organizations, places where people showed up for no reason other than being around other people. Those places still exist, but they're far less central to daily life than once were. And when those places disappear, something else disappears with them. Opportunity. The opportunity to casually meet people. The opportunity to slowly build trust. The opportunity to become familiar with strangers. And familiarity is where friendships often begin. Most friendships don't start with some magical moment. They start because two people kept crossing paths again and again and again until eventually they weren't strangers anymore. One of the biggest challenges might be boredom. That sounds strange, but think about it. 20 years ago, if you were bored, you often called someone. You stopped by someone's house. You wandered outside. You found people. Today, boredom lasts about 6 seconds. The moment we feel it, we reach for our phones. The discomfort disappears instantly, but so does the motivation to seek human connection. And that small change, repeated millions of times, may have altered friendships in more ways than we realize, because friendships require something modern life doesn't provide very often. Unplanned time, not scheduled time, not optimized time, not productive time, just time. The time where conversations drift, the kind of time where people linger, the kind of time where relationships slowly deepen. Modern life is incredibly efficient, and efficiency is wonderful for many things. Friendship isn't one of them. You can't speedrun trust. You can't automate closeness. You can't outsource companionship. Human connection still operates at the same speed it always has, slowly. And maybe that's part of the problem. We've accelerated almost everything except for things that matter the most. Another thing I've noticed is that adulthood itself changes friendship. When you're young, everyone is looking for friends. It's expected. School puts people together, sports put people together, clubs put people together, right? Life practically forces social interaction. But somewhere along the way, making friends starts feeling awkward. People worry about bothering others. People assume everyone already has a social circle. People stop introducing themselves. Stop reaching out. Stop inviting people places. Not because they don't want friends, because they're afraid of the feeling that it's not mutual. So someone waits, and everyone assumes everyone else is busy. The result is a strange kind of social stalemate. Millions of people wanting deeper friendships, and nobody making the first move. What makes this especially sad is that I don't think we're experiencing a friendship crisis because people don't care. I think we're experiencing it because people care deeply. Most people want connection. Most people want community. Most people do want someone to call. Most people want someone who truly knows them. But wanting something and building something aren't the same thing. Friendship takes effort. It takes vulnerability. It takes repetition. It takes showing up. And again and again and again. And modern life constantly pulls our attention somewhere else. Maybe that's why so many adults have this strange feeling that can't quite explain. They're surrounded by people, not somehow, and they still feel alone, not connected to anyone. And perhaps the strangest part is that many people think this feeling is personal. They think they're failing. They think something is wrong with maybe them. But what if it isn't? What if the problem isn't that they've forgotten how to make friends? What if they're trying to build friendships inside a world that no longer makes friendships easy? Maybe that's why so many people relate to this conversation. Because deep down, they already know something has changed. Not dramatically, not overnight maybe, just slowly, quietly. One small habit at a time. One small convenience at a time. One small substitution at a time. A visit became a text, a phone call became a notification. A gathering became a group chat. A friend became a follower. And before we realized it, friendship started feeling harder than it used to. Not impossible, just harder. And maybe the first step toward fixing it is simply recognizing that we're not the only ones feeling it. Because chances are someone else is sitting there right now wondering the exact same thing. Wondering why friendship feels different. Wondering why connection feels harder. Wondering why they miss something. They can't quite put words to it, And maybe they're hoping someone reaches out first. Maybe they're hoping someone sends the text. Maybe the call extends the invitation. Maybe they're hoping for a friend. And maybe they aren't the only one. See you tomorrow, guys.